Do you listen to, what podcast do you listen to?
Joe Rogan, I'll listen to him every once in a while. Honestly.
It's got to be an interesting guest.
Yeah, interesting guest. Theo Vaughn, I'll listen to him. Mostly because like he gets high profile guests on, but they're toned down, so it's not like such a, like he had Vice President JD Vance on.
Oh, right.
And they talked a little bit of politics, but it wasn't like down your throat politics. Like it was just JD Vance being a human.
Yeah.
They talked about Ohio State football, baseball, just stuff that normal people can actually maybe have a conversation about and not feel stupid.
Sure.
And so that's good. I listen to some religion podcasts. I really like JD Greer.
I'm not familiar with him.
He was the president of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Oh, really?
Interesting. He's very well spoken. Robbie Gallaty has a podcast called the Forgotten Jesus podcast, which is probably the best religion podcast I've ever listened to. JD Greer's is more of a like, here's a hard question for Christianity, answer it, and he like basically breaks it down and answers it in like a 10-minute podcast, and which is pretty cool. But yeah, anyway.
No, that's cool. How long have you been a Christian?
Probably as long as you.
Probably longer than me.
Well,
I'm rather recent, to be honest with you.
So, are you saying like growing up you were more a Christian because your parents were?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just kind of along for the ride. Not that I wasn't into it, because I was into it, but it didn't become my own, and then I did my own thing for a while, and obviously that didn't go very well. And no, it was about May of last year that I was on a tour bus, and I just was at the end of my rope, and I was miserable, and I don't even know how to. It was a crazy experience, and I called my brother, and we prayed together, and that's been it. I am imperfect.
Yeah.
Boy,
well, we all are.
Yeah, I'm horrible at it, but praise God for His grace, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, when I really deep dived into it would probably be early high school. We've known each other since like sixth grade-ish.
Before
kids church.
Probably fourth or fifth.
And then there was a few years in there I didn't go to church, and then I got back into it, and I never really. I've always, more or less believed in God. The whole relationship with Jesus thing probably didn't start until early high school. Deep dived into it.
Yeah.
Got really good I didn't get really good, but was really into it for a couple years, and then towards the end of high school it tapered off.
Yeah.
Was still there, but it tapered off. Got back into it again, and then it tapered off. And honestly, I think church was the reason.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, church was the one getting in the way of my relationship with Jesus. And not, I'm for no other reason than I let it. But, church hurt is a real thing too.
Absolutely.
And I think I got that pretty good once, and I never got back into church the same way.
Yeah.
And, even now, like, I wouldn't advertise myself as a Christian because I'm not a great one by any means. I guess it's not that I wouldn't advertise myself as one. Actually, so your brother, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
He brought up Jordan Peterson one time. And so I wouldn't say that he's the reason why that I've, I don't really deep dive into people like that. But, I've listened to some stuff. And anyway, I think subliminally your brother is who actually got me into that, because when he was first starting as a It was just a little thing.
Yeah.
One day he was like, "Hey, here's something I heard from Jordan Peterson." I was like, "Okay, well that's cool." And now it's just, little things here and there. But I watched something the other day. Jordan Peterson was on a podcast actually with I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a faith-based podcast, Christian, and basically he was like, "Would you classify yourself as a Christian?" And Jordan Peterson was like, "Well, no." He's like, well, why not? He was like, well, even in the Bible it says, everyone that calls me Lord will not make it through the gates of heaven. And
scary.
Yeah. And basically he was like, I guess what I got from it is, if I'm a Christian, should I label myself a Christian or should I act Christian? And actually that's the way I approach business too. Like earlier when you said a lot of construction companies have gotten into this thing where they advertise like, we are a Christian construction company, and that's fine. And then they'll turn around and charge, upcharge materials 20%, or just they say they're Christian to advertise, and there's Christianity is slowly becoming not the largest religion in the U.S., but still is. And so you want to get business, advertising as a Christian company is a great way to do it. When I first started my company, I was like, that's not a bad thing. Like, I want people to know that I run my company with Christian morals. And then it got to the point where I looked at everyone else doing it. I'm like, that's actually not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a terrible thing to do. And the reason being is there's so many people already doing it that don't actually run their business that way.
Yeah.
They just use it as a way to gain business. I think what works better is just get a reputation for, doing business in a civil, moral, honest, integrative manner.
Yeah.
And so, realistically, I think that's what I've tried to focus on more, and I think that's better than, advertising as just a Christian. Like, hey, and the same thing goes for, they're like a veteran-owned company. That's great, and there's nothing wrong with being a veteran-owned company, but I had an inspection. I had a random Department of Labor inspection, actually. Just driving around, and he stops, sees a company, stops, and, hey, you got workers' comp and everything? Yep. And he was telling me a story about how this guy was in the Navy for 6 months.
Oh, really?
Got dishonorably discharged because him and his wife left his 3 kids. And I don't know where this story was, or it's in Montana somewhere. But him and his wife left their 3 kids alone while they went out to the bar and, doing whatever, which is fine, I guess, if you want to be a terrible parent. Yeah. But anyway, basically, the look on your face when I said, which is fine, was pretty awesome.
You're like, what? What?
Maybe this isn't family friendly anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got court-martialed in the Navy, dishonorably discharged, and now he advertises his business as a veteran-owned.
No way.
He's got without going, I don't know who he is or anything, but I guess he's got like a Navy SEALs tattoo and just advertise this hardcore, like, veteran-owned. Every veteran gets 20% discount, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's terrible. And the Department of Labor, the guy, he was like, we shut him down completely because he's stealing money from people, doing terrible jobs, all the while advertising as veteran-owned, and
that's just rude. And as a service member, that's just a slap in the face.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can only imagine, someone who, and that goes into the huge other realm of, business problems. Another thing that the guy from the Department of Labor told me about that specific guy was he would go in and he would require a material deposit down or, half down or whatever on a project. Well, you get, and, I understand that, I started my business about 4 years ago now, and I'm not very old. I mean, I'm older, kind of, I guess.
How old
older
are you?
than you. I'm 27.
Okay.
Of course, I'm just the baby of the room.
But when I started my business, if I was doing a $10,000 job and $5,000 of that was materials, it would be really hard for me to sit on $5,000 until a project was done. And so I completely understand, the whole half down thing, cover materials, it's for it's that person's materials anyway, they might as well pay for it. But that people like that is what really hurts every other, contractor as well. Cause, one, he's advertising, well, I'm a veteran and, my business is veteran owned and we give all these discounts out. And then he goes and, requires a 50% deposit on a project and then completely screws up the project, walks away. And, what's the person going to do? Most people these days, a $10,000 project, that's $10,000 is a lot for most people. What are they going to do? Go to small claims court, pay for an attorney and sue him for it?
Yeah.
While he's skipped the state already. And I mean, you can't sue someone in Washington without going to Washington, going through their whole legal process.
It's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
You're going to spend more than $10,000
exactly
trying to settle that.
So they just eat it. And that's what most people do. But on the flip side, that's something that contractors do too. You do a job, a $2,000 job, and thankfully I haven't really been screwed out of much. But you do a $10,000 job and say you do require half down. They pay the half down, pay for the materials and everything. If they decide they're not going to pay you, thankfully, labor is expensive when it comes to employees, but labor is cheap for yourself. So if I did the work myself, if I'm out that $5,000, that's something I can recoup. But on the flip side, if I put $5,000 of my own money into that person's materials, $5,000 in labor, and then they turn around and the whole $10,000 is out of my pocket and they're not paying. Now I'm sitting on top of all that money, and that can make or break people easily, and it happens all the time. And so, on one side you have the customer. It's that they don't want to put any money down because you have people like the veteran-owned business who is dishonorably discharged, taking half down, doing shoddy work, and then just disappearing. So they don't want to trust the contractor, but then there also are good contractors out there who don't have the resources to put, a ton of their own money into a project and then at the end recoup it all. So, yeah, it's a hard balance. But
all right, do you get asked for references often?
Yep, and I do not give them out.
You
Really?
don't give give the customer references of your work?
Oh,
Like a portfolio, basically.
Okay.
No, you're thinking other people ask if you recommend them.
Yeah, so a lot of times, what we primarily do is build houses. So I get, several phone calls a week for smaller projects that are kind of out of my realm. Like it would cost me more money to do that project than I would even make on it. And so in that case, people always ask me like, well, who would you recommend to do it? And, there's a few people that I'll recommend, but most of the time I don't, because, you recommend someone to go in and do a project and they do a terrible job. Well, now whose fault is it?
Yep.
That person comes back to me and says, well, you told me to use them. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's out of my control at that point. I had them do this job. They did a great job. That's all I'm going off of.
Sure.
But on the flip side, what you were asking is, a a lot of my work comes from general contractors, so people above me. We do a lot of projects, not for generals, I guess I would say, but I don't know that I've really been asked much for a reference. But on the flip side, word of mouth, we live in a pretty good spot for starting a business. Honestly, I would say, it was fairly easy for me, I would say. It was hard work.
Yeah.
But Great Falls is a big, small town, and everyone says that. It's the cliche thing to say, but it's true. Word of mouth travels fast.
Mm-hmm.
The downside to that is good word of mouth travels slower than bad word of mouth.
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay? So you do terrible on one project, it's going to take you 4 times as long to recoup what you lost if you would have just done good in the first place. So, I tell my employees, first focus is doing a good job. Yes, we want to do it in a timely manner, and if you were to ask them, they would probably say I'm pushy. But on the flip side, doing a good job and making money, which one's more important? Making money is how we live, but we're not going to make any more money if we do a bad job.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, do a good job. Hope you make money. Which is a whole nother aspect of business. Right now, pricing in the construction industry is probably the hardest thing. Starting a company is easy. Doing the work is easy. Figuring out how to charge enough to where you make money, but charge low enough to where you're still competitive with everyone else. Competitive pricing is the hardest part of the whole construction industry. And the problem with that is there's such a wide margin of competitive pricing. This guy, when I first started my company, I got all my pricing from one guy that I knew before I started my company. And he was set up in a different business way than I was. He was building his own houses, and me, I didn't have any money to, go build a spec house on my own and sell it. So what I had to do was work for generals and be a subcontractor under generals. Well, the pricing between building your own house and selling it and, framing a house for a general contractor is completely different. So, I went off all his pricing and lost every job. Well, then, there's a couple of framing crews in Great Falls that frame cheaper than anyone else. Well, they kind of trick you. So, and I've had this happen. So, to frame someone's houses, a customer will come to me and say, hey, how much are you going to charge me to frame this house? And I'll give them a price. And they'll go to this other person and say, hey, how much would you charge to frame this house? And they'll give them a price. Well, they'll leave out that they can't frame it for 6 months because they're too busy. And that's why they're so, that's why they can stay competitively priced under everyone, is because they lowball. Well, then they're busy. All they do is frame. And, we do house start to finish. So framing is just one of the aspects. Anyway, that's where it becomes hard. Is this guy, he can do it cheaper, but he's going to be 6 months to a year out. Well, we're a little bit more expensive. Maybe over the course of an entire house, framing an entire house, $1,000 more, and people will choose them. Well, then they'll be all upset because they don't get their house framed for 6 months. Meanwhile, we're 2 months out. Well, $1,000 in the span of paying interest on a construction loan. That's a month worth of interest on a construction loan.
Sure.
Anyway, I guess to go back to the whole reference thing, people don't really ask me for that. But I would say it's more because most of my business comes from word of mouth. And who do you trust more? A friend a good friend that you've had for years who used this contractor and had a good experience, or someone you don't know, me giving you the name of someone you don't know, you calling or looking at pictures of their project and saying, okay, yeah, maybe he does a good job. Personally, I would, if I had a good friend who used this contractor and said they had a great experience with them, I would probably listen to that friend over someone I don't know or pictures of a project, because you can make a project look pretty good in pictures, but when you're 5 feet standing away from it, it might not look so good. So
interesting. Is there a lot of fluctuation in the supply market? Does it go up and down a lot for buying lumber and stuff?
So a lot of times I'm not directly involved with that. I have a great relationship with suppliers, where we get all our lumber and everything. But doing what I do, working under subs, getting materials hasn't really, honestly, during COVID was probably the worst time to get materials ever, because there was so much money in the economy that everyone was doing something. And so cabinets were like 8 weeks out, and typically, they're 4 to 6. Right now they're about 6. But in 2020 they went up to 8 weeks, and then 10 weeks, and then some lines were up to 12 weeks out to get kitchen cabinets. And honestly, windows were another thing. And it's only specialty things where supply lines become an issue, like windows, cabinets, things made in a shop setting. Countertops was another one, stone countertops. But material-wise, like framing materials, that stuff never. The only fluctuation that ever has is prices, and I don't even think the prices has anything directly to do with. Well, it does. Like during COVID, the price of lumber skyrocketed. A sheet of 7/16 OSB went from $13 to $20-some, and now it's back down to 16-ish. But really, the demand went up so high, so that lumber supply, not even the suppliers, but the factories, the mills, they saw the opportunity to make a killing during COVID. The trees, COVID didn't affect the trees. COVID didn't affect the machinery. COVID affected people. And really, one spectrum or one side of the country will say it had a terrible effect. Everyone was sick for 2 years, and the other side will say, well, I think it was blown out of proportion. And whichever, it doesn't matter which side you're on. The reality is, COVID didn't affect the trees, and COVID didn't affect the machinery. It did. The government put regulations in that, well, only so many people can work at a time, or we got to shut this mill down, or whatever. And so, maybe to an extent, but there was just as many trees before COVID as there was after and during. So, I think the whole supply issue, it wasn't even necessarily a supply issue. It was big corporations seeing that they could profit off of something. And all of a sudden the price of a 2x4 went from $3 to $8. And so now it's come back down. It's almost, well, then we have the thing of inflation. So inflation, the last 4 or 5 years went crazy. And so interestingly enough, the price of a house now versus 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, 5 years ago, the same house is like $100,000 more. And interestingly enough, I think from my side looking in, the price of lumber is a little bit higher now than it was pre-COVID, but the price of a house is $100,000 more for the same house. And so now we have labor rates have gone up, and big corporations making money has gone up. and that's what inflation caused.
Yeah.
Realistically, you know, like I said, the price of lumber is almost back down to pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So the inflation on lumber has taken place. You know, pre-COVID, you could get a sheet of OSB 7/16 for $13 some a sheet. Now it's $16 some. Mm-hmm. So it has gone up a little bit, but it's not exponential. It's not $100,000 over the course of a $300,000 house. You know what I mean?
So what do you think the difference is there? Why did you could argue with inflation that ultimately everything didn't go up that much, but houses have skyrocketed. What do you think is the reason for that?
Well, during COVID, it seems kind of weird to talk about COVID now that it's history, but it's like the effects of it are still there because, you know, you take an entire country and you flop its economical development on its like upside down, and the effects are going to last for years, generations, really.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question again?
if everything else has, if inflation, like I would argue with inflation, you said that lumber's gone up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But if you take into account inflation, it probably isn't the same as what it was. It really didn't go up that much.
Yeah.
But houses have skyrocketed. Even taking into account with inflation. What do you think the cause of that is?
I think he's asking how they correlate.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, you know, here we're pretty sheltered in Montana.
Really?
Which is good.
Yeah. Was that like a sarcastic, really, or like a?
I mean, in what way?
Well, okay. Just
there's a question mark on that, really.
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to figure
no.
out what kind of really that was.
I mean, COVID restrictions. Yeah, we were pretty sheltered from most of that, but I meant in other ways because I really don't know.
I was just curious. I didn't know how to interpret that really. Well, so during COVID, the housing market boomed like crazy. You know, houses were getting $60,000 above asking price offers.
Wow.
People were buying like people in big cities, you know, and we had, if you look at the basically graphs, studies done of people living outside of Montana, moving into Montana, we had huge influxes from Washington, California, I think even Texas. There was actually a couple other states I saw, and interestingly enough, California wasn't the number one. I think it was actually number two of the states where people were moving into Montana from.
Mm-hmm. Colorado's a big one.
Yeah, that might have been the other one I was thinking of. Granted, California is a lot of them, but we have, you know, we have weird places in Montana like Bozeman, Missoula, that are just kind of like a, you know, you have the entirety of Montana, and then you have these weird pockets that are completely different. And so Montana has become, you know, there's like metropolitan pockets.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that Great Falls is even in that yet. Mm-hmm. But Great Falls is a entirely different economical structure. Like all of our money comes from it's all federal money.
Yeah.
Which is Bozeman, Missoula, all that is private money. It's private sector money, but we are, and you know, we have some of that here. And, you know, thankfully, just reading into like economic developments in Great Falls recently, it looks like a lot more private money is coming here in the future. But, you know, with our structure here is circled around Malmstrom.
Yeah.
Entirely. And, you know, it's pretty obvious. Anyway, to go back to your question, we had a huge influx of out-of-staters moving into Montana that were buying houses sight unseen, $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 above asking price. And so that's primarily what made the market here go crazy is, people moving in from out of state buying houses at a premium because, you know, they move here from California. The same house that you can buy here in California is probably $200,000 to $300,000 more because real estate property in California is just more expensive. Mm-hmm. Well, then what that did here was it drove the price up of everything here. And, that inflation didn't really do that, cause the housing market a crisis here, in my opinion. I think it was the influx of out-of-staters paying a premium. And, I think inflation was maybe a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be entirely wrong about all of this. It's just my view.
Yeah, just from what you experienced personally.
Yeah. But inflation didn't really do it here anyway. I think, honestly, it's still the effect of COVID. And then, it's like I don't know what the word for it is, but it's basically people get comfortable with a way of life. So for the last 5 years, people have just grown to expect that housing is expensive. And then we have the media pushing a narrative, not even just the media, politics, everything, pushing the narrative that we're in a crisis, we're in a housing crisis and inflation and all this. Well, then people just
they just accept it.
Yeah, they accept it. And then it becomes the new normal.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, this is the new normal. Well, I guess might as well get comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Because humans like comfort. Even if it's like hurtful comfort. You know?
Or familiarity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think we've all gotten used to, okay, well, the average house price, and this is probably not the average house price, but, from just me looking at the markets and from what I build and the prices I see, the average housing price in Great Falls right now is over $300,000. It's probably closer to 4, if not 4.5. And that's average. So, you got your high side and then you got your low side. But I mean, if you ever look on Zillow or, what house can you buy that is livable for under, 300,000, you could probably find one that's livable, but under 250, what can you find that you could move in tomorrow?
Yeah,
it's one of those fixer-uppers.
And then on the flip side of that, right now interest rates, and what's crazy is interest rates aren't even that high historically right now. Back in the 1900s, it got up to 18%. And
what is that right now? Like 4, 6?
I think it's between. I think you can get. So I work more in construction loans than I do mortgages. So I think right now you can get a construction loan for 8 plus percent, which is usually double what the going mortgage interest rate is for like a conventional loan. So it's probably right around 4.5.
Okay.
Which really is not bad.
That is not that bad.
Considering,
I think COVID was a lot higher too.
Well, no, COVID was actually, so that's another reason why the housing market like exploded was because, none of us, Montana, any state has no control over, interest rates. So it's all federal, right? So realistically, the federal government controls the economy completely.
Yeah.
And that's why, like right now, Trump is trying to get the interest rates. He's mad at Jerome Powell because he won't cut the interest rates, which whatever. But during COVID, the interest rates were like at an all-time low. Like everyone and their brother was refinancing their houses, and everyone got 1% interest rates. And so it was like the best time to buy a house ever, because you can't get cheaper than a 1% interest rate.
No, that's insane.
Yeah. And then when inflation started making a rise, they started kicking the interest rates up and up and up. And I think it maxed out. I think it topped out at, and I could be wrong, but like 8%. It got up to about 8% 2 years ago, I think, or maybe a year ago. And now it's going back down. And so anyway, during COVID, you had this huge explosion of housing. Everyone was buying it. Everyone was refinancing. And then all of a sudden, inflation became this big thing. And now, and like I said, here we don't feel the effects of inflation. We don't feel the effects of depression. You talk to old talking heads around here, and the Great Depression wasn't a big thing here. Recession, the 2008 recession wasn't a big thing. People still felt it, but it wasn't felt here like it was in metropolitan areas, big cities, Chicago, because the most of our money comes from the federal government. Well, the federal government doesn't stop spending money. They don't have any money, but they still keep spending it.
Yep.
Yeah. Raise the ceiling a little more.
Yep.
Just puts more and more in debt.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I back to the original question. I think that's pretty much what causes it, is people just getting comfortable. There's a generational gap between the old way of that America worked and the new way that America is going. And everyone else, all the older people, I would say 50 plus, they still have faith in the news, in traditional news sources.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
My neighbor is a whole complete, I could spend 3 hours talking about how my neighbor is such a goofball. But just because of this exact area, he'll see something on the news and just completely believe it.
Just run with it.
And it's you realize that entire news story that you're reading is off of a 3-second clip, and you're only getting the smallest amount of information out of it, and you're just running with it completely.
And it's probably out of context.
Yeah, completely out of context. But, now podcasts are a big news source. People are getting more, the whole news thing is shifting because there's so much hysteria in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is all of our money is wrapped up in the older generation. If you think about it, how many government employees were there that have amazing pensions, and all that money is tied up in the older generation?
Yeah. It's so hard to find that anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the way I see it. There's so much money wrapped up in the older generations, and so and they're stuck in one way of living in America, and then we have this new way of living in America, and it has no money. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, you have to take out what was that thing if you buy Wendy's online, you can do 4 installment payments.
Seriously?
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called.
You can make payments on dinner, huh?
You can do, I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, I saw it and it said, can you not afford your $15 DoorDash Wendy's? Break it into 4 payments with low interest.
Affirm. I've seen that. People have been using Affirm on DoorDash and such and paying interest.
Dude, that
makes no sense.
I mean, the customer's always right. So if you're waiting for payday and you just got to have your Wendy's,
go to the gas station, get a $2 burrito, you'll be fine.
That doesn't work.
Another
for
thing
everybody.
that's crazy to me is McDonald's advertises work today, paid today. We have gotten to a point where we can't even manage our money for a week or two.
Yeah.
We can't make last week's paycheck last us until next week's paycheck. It's
scary.
That is really scary.
That's how Jimmy John's was, though. We had I think if the delivery drivers, they had an app, and at the end of every day, they could cash out their hourly.
And we wonder why we haven't had a president that's, matches the average age of Americans ever. Except
I don't know
maybe
if I
Kennedy.
want one, though.
Well, no, that's what I mean. If we had a 40, how you have to be 36, I think.
35. To become president? Yeah, 35.
If we had a 40-year-old president, that'd be pretty scary, because I think I know more 40-year-olds that are in crippling debt than are,
Yeah.
That's
financially
Yeah.
set up well. Yeah.
Dude, student loan payments. Dude, credit card companies, you should have to be 21 before you're allowed to have a credit card.
If you can't drink alcohol or smoke a cigarette at 18, why is 18 the adult age now?
That's ridiculous. But the credit cards, on your first day of college, they line their tables up. Come get our credit card.
Yeah.
Come get our credit card. You're already taking out hundreds of $1,000s in student debt. And
oh, by the way, you already can't make that payment, but take out a credit card with a $10,000 limit.
Yeah.
And go shopping while you're at college.
No, man.
Because that's a great idea.
That's just scary.
Yeah.
Be able to go to college nowadays also is just crazy.
Everything's online.
Yeah.
There's some reasonable. My brother got a programming degree.
Your brother's also like
a genius.
Sheldon, like young Sheldon smart. Like he's
a genius,
extremely smart.
Like medical or something like that. That's totally good reason to go to college. I'm not slamming everyone who goes to college.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like when I left high school, I was like, I'm going to do music. And I did for a little bit.
But when you also look at someone like me who's not school smart at all, that's why someone like me just joins the Army. You get free college. Like I got my GI Bill until I die.
Yeah.
I don't got to be smart at all, and you know I'm not.
You're smart.
Yeah.
You're not like...
I'm not your brother smart. Not even you smart, but you know what I mean.
No one's smart.
Yeah, but on the flip side, being
rare.
book smart and being, common sense, there is something to be said about having common sense.
I got that common sense smart. Not school smart. I got common sense.
Which, interestingly enough, like, more times than not, you see people who are incredibly book smart, like, programmers or, whatever. They go out on the street and they're dumber than a box of... No offense to anyone by that, but
no, it's true.
They're dumber than a box of rocks.
Mm-hmm. Some people are, and some people are the opposite. Some people... Yeah. I think he's book smart too, but he's very... Okay, Ezra, dude, he can on the street just talk to anyone. Like more than once, officers have came toward us angry, and they left like they're gonna go get a beer with Ezra next week, and it's like, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Ezra just has a charismatic personality.
He does.
Like he's just a very... more times than not, it's okay. I think he'll be all right with us talking about him because he probably knows everything we'll say. But more times than not, when I talk to him, at the end of the conversation, part of me wants to punch him in the head. But on the flip side, that's just his personality. Like everyone, I don't think anyone really dislikes him. I think more people probably like him than not. But on the flip side, like... he just doesn't care what comes out of his mouth.
we were at the fireworks stand the other day because he used to work over there, and I was over there this year. And there was a high school, probably 18-year-old kid, and you know how all the 18-year-old kids have that same stupid curly haircut? Yep. And I said to Ezra, like, boy, that kid has the haircut everyone has. And he looks at the kid and he goes, hey, broccoli head. It was like, wow. Man.
Yeah.
Not to say he isn't book smart. I think he is book smart.
No, he is smart. I
know
he's
just
smart.
Very, very one of the most street smart people I know.
Mm-hmm. We've always had an odd relationship. Like, we'll be best friends for 3 years and then something will happen and then we don't talk for 2 years or a year or whatever. Well, anyway, I think we're all maybe past that now. Like, we've matured. Yeah. Like, we're not emotional, stupid teenagers anymore. Yeah. Anyway, I know, I guess all that to say, I've had Ezra come help me on some jobs. I know he's not stupid. You know? There's in the construction industry, there's it's a dying trade. Building a house, being able to stick frame, which means probably nothing to you. You probably think of a drumstick when I say stick. But,
stick a frame. Obviously, you mean build a frame.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is the whole, being smart is a very... There's a million different ways to be smart, You could write a book that would astonish, a doctor or something. Mm-hmm. But then go to a construction site and just not be able to comprehend how that thing goes together. But even in the trades, an engineer is a carpenter's worst nightmare. Yeah. Yet he's the one designing the house I'm building. Sure. Mm-hmm. But he's my worst nightmare because he's never gone out to a job site and actually put a house together. So there's things that he doesn't know that don't work that he does on a computer, and they work fine there. Yeah. And so, anyway, to wrap back around to Ezra, I know he's not stupid because I've seen him do some stick framing, and you can't be stupid and do that.
No.
Trust me.
No. No, I have a lot of respect for it. I want to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Doesn't he own his own business?
Oh, yeah.
He does.
Yep.
We should have had both of you guys on and had compare.
Yeah, we should have debate. We should have them debate, and we'll give them pointed questions and be like, which one of you guys is better at this? And
just start arguing. It'd be funny.
Well, interestingly enough, our like we kind of grew up together in the construction world. His dad owned a business. Yeah. And from a pretty early age, I would be with them, helping them out or working for his dad or whatever. And, going through high school, we pretty much, our senior year, we had one class that we did not have together.
Oh, wow.
One class. The rest of the day, we were, it was, so, we were, we pretty much got our start the same way. And then after high school, right towards the end of high school, we got into a bickering match. Didn't talk for a few months. He went off to Alaska to go fishing, and I went to work for Sletton. When he got back from his fishing trip, all of a sudden we weren't mad at each other anymore. And and then about a year later, mostly over women, we got into an argument and didn't talk for a couple years. And then I think actually interestingly enough, he saw my mom at her work. Yeah. And my mom was like, oh yeah, if he was like, I want to say he wasn't busy for a week or something. And my mom's like, oh, Brandon's got a project where he's, I don't know, like not in over his head, but like just
could use another set
busy,
of hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you should call him or something. And so he called me, and then I wouldn't say we're like back to being best friends, but I can call him and he can call me, and we're not at each other's throats again. So that's good.
Yeah. You're on good terms.
It's a good start anyway.
Yeah. No.
And I've had him come help us on jobs, several jobs within the last year or two. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he does a good job. Yeah. Can't complain.
Yeah. I've always admired his people skills. Like
he is a good people person. That's what I'm not very good at. I can't make small talk to save my life.
Oh, I watch him do it. I try to learn. I remember, so we had one night, we were over by Great Falls High, and there was a group of probably 8 of us that were going to play Rambo, where I think somebody's in a car and he has to find everybody, and everybody else has to go from this place to this place. And of course, for some reason, somebody had a gun. Not where you think. Okay. And Ezra was like, hey, let me look at that gun. So he hands the gun to Ezra, and sure enough, as he's handing him the gun, sirens, police car pulls up, and Ezra puts his hands up, drops the mag, sets the gun down, puts his other hand up, and this officer, I don't think he had a gun draw, but he comes out like, what the heck is going on? And I think he goes, a little late for you guys to be out here, isn't it? And he said, nope, we're all over 18. No one's past curfew, we're good. And the guy said, it's illegal for you to have that, just screwing around with it. And he said, well, my friend was showing it to me, and you can legally own a handgun at 18. And the guy just went, oh, and they left.
Man, I have so many stories of us. We were, so we grew up by the college, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Well, Ezra's idea of a good time was standing there with a fishing rod with a slip knot over a gopher hole and waiting for a gopher to pick up and like gopher fishing. And well, at one point we caught 3 baby gophers, put them in his little clubhouse in his parents' backyard. They would like whistle all night long. Next day we went out there and blood all over. His mom like had enough of it. Anyway, that's the story I got. It might have been Ezra. Probably was Ezra. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
go for fishing. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. But we were over at the college with Ezra had at one point, like, it wasn't like a full on crossbow, like it was a kid's crossbow, but it would take out a gopher. So we were over at the college, and of course they had this big field. It was always, not maintained or anything, and we weren't harming anyone. And at one point we actually got permission from someone at the college to gopher fish, because there was a couple of maintenance guys that always had a problem with us being there. So anyway, we were over there with this crossbow one time, and anyway, we did get one gopher. I did, by the way. Anyway, we were over there for a while, and a cop shows up, and she's walking up to us. It was one of the good-looking ones. She's walking up to us, and she's got her hand on her gun, like ready to pull this thing out, and she's like yelling at us to drop the crossbow and everything. And of course, Ezra and I think we were maybe, I want to say it was like, gosh, it had to be maybe freshman, sophomore year, something like that.
14, 15 years old.
Yeah, we were pretty young. And it was summer. She was, well, obviously gophers. Anyway, she's walking over, a hand on her gun, and like yelling at us to drop this thing, and we're thinking like, oh shoot, we got a weapon in our hands. We should probably drop this thing. Anyway, yeah.
Did you get in trouble?
We didn't get in trouble, but
let off with a warning.
Well, basically, she was like, they said they've come out here like 5 times and told you guys to leave. Well, they never came out and talked to us. So she's like, well, just go home. I'm like, all right. We went back the next weekend, probably.
It's incredible how many, like, if I was doing, I don't know, maybe it's because you had a weapon, but in my mind, like, how much easier would it have been to come out and nicely ask you,
oh yeah,
hey,
we
can you
wouldn't
please not have a weapon
either.
on a college campus? Like, well, when you put it like that, yeah, that's fair. But no, straight to the police. Like, the police don't have anything better to do than come, hey, can you please leave? Sure, okay, thanks. Like, yeah, you're obviously causing real issues by...
As if we're a problem for any grown man either. We're 2 scrawny kids that are like 14, maybe.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Shoot a grown man with a kid crossbow?
Yeah.
Like, no, obviously that wasn't the type of people we were anyway, but,
no.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous, but that's a story I always remember. That's a good one.
I have so many.
Firecrackers out the windows. And
man, we were in Ezra's truck one time, and he would just light them and throw them at the floorboards. And I remember one time I had a steel toe boot on for some reason.
Thank God.
And he threw it, and I put my foot over it, and it popped. And obviously didn't mess my shoe up. But it was
what's
like,
interesting? While we're on the topic of Ezra, I sold him a truck. Like 2 months later, the tranny goes out. It was more than 2 months. The tranny goes out. He has all these problems. Ezra cannot keep a vehicle running good to save his life.
No, he can't. He's the worst luck.
Another thing is the only reason I remember what year my mom was born is the 65 Buick Skylark he drove.
Oh, yeah. The gold one or the other one?
Well, all of them. That was.
Oh, he had more than one?
Well, so his dad, they were all 65 Skylarks.
Oh, he would only buy the 65.
Yep.
Because he still has that gold one.
Yeah. Well, several things, pulling into the gas pump, and he, the bollards.
Yeah.
Just rams one of those right into it, and he just leaves a half-moon dent right in the front of the car. Or just going down 10th Avenue, and he's fiddling with the gear selector and throws it in reverse, and it just starts squealing like a son of a gun. But you couldn't do that in a new car and still drive it.
Oh, no way. No way.
Testament to old vehicles.
I have to stop myself because at some point we're like going to be incriminating Ezra.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, just make it seem so bad now.
I mean,
this would probably be really fun to do with him, honestly.
At least he can defend himself.
Yeah.
No, he would have funny stories about me too.
Oh yeah.
Or you, I'm sure. But it's all in love, man. It was fun. Some of the most entertaining times I've ever had were when he was just going off on somebody.
Oh yeah.
Or just screwing around. I feel like Nick, you and I have had a pretty tame friendship. Like relatively, like
By the time we like fully became friends again, after stopped talking for a few years, we both kind of
mellowed out
a little bit. We still did some dumb stuff.
I mean,
but
we some dumb
that
stuff.
gap where we weren't talking, that's when I was
A lot of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess you did calm me down eventually.
Oh, we calmed each other down though. But I think that's just age.
Yeah, we're both still pieces of garbage, but a
That's
lot better.
fair. So when we met, I worked with his aunt at the hospital, and I was probably 20. And she said, "Hey, you should meet my nephew. He has just a dark sense of humor, and he goes over the line a lot, and I need somebody to calm him down." So of course, to me, that was like giving me a loaded gun.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good to know. So here we are. That was 6 years ago.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Our humor is still incredibly dark.
Yeah, but it has calmed down. We kind of swapped little personalities because when we first met, I was very aggressive. Like, you look at me wrong, I'd swing on you. And Jonah was like, "Hey, man, let's all be friends." We haven't fully swapped, but I've calmed down, and Jonah's finally not a complete flight. Now, if someone sizes up Jonah, Jonah's like, "Okay, let's see where this goes."
Which is interesting because, like, personally, like, just knowing Jonah, it always depended on the person whether he was like, you know, kind of a flight guy or a fight guy.
Yeah.
His brother, he was always a fight guy.
You could destroy me now. That's what's scary is
Was he
like,
getting ripped or what?
yeah, man.
Really?
Have you seen him in a while?
I haven't.
Dude,
The last time I saw him was probably like 2 years ago now.
Oh, wow. No,
I wanna
he's not wicked shredded or anything, but he's bigger than me. He's got some muscle on him.
I mean,
Yeah.
size-wise, you guys are pretty close.
He's bigger than me for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a little
though.
bigger than you, but you guys are fairly
Well, the
close.
last time I saw him, he was taller than me, so
How tall are you?
just about 6 foot.
Okay. Because I grew an inch last year. Crazy thing. I'm 6'2" now. I was 6'1" before I went on tour, and now I'm 6'2". So
Makes
I don't know
more
how that
sense.
works.
Maybe like the bumpy roads or something, like knocking your vertebrae back in or something.
My bunk on the second tour was 6 feet long, so I had to sleep diagonally and in the fetal position to fit on the bed because it wasn't. I don't think it was for an adult, but that's what's weird. How did I grow in that?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Maybe the elevation.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Spitballing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a scientist on here.
Maybe gravity in the rock. Maybe the Rocky Mountains are so big that like the gravity holds you down here, constrains your height from growing, and then once you
That's
get away
true.
from them, I don't know.
Yeah.
We were south and
If
east
that's
coast
right,
a
that'd be
lot.
crazy.
Huh?
We need someone to fact check that.
Yeah.
Ask Ben. He's a
People are
scientist.
taller in Florida than in Montana and Colorado and Utah.
Lower elevation.
Oh, that's fair. So talk to us about fatherhood.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fatherhood.
Raising him as a Christian, like just anything.
Well, fatherhood's what matured me, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of dumb. Had a kid when I was 19. But it's awesome. I enjoy it. Actually, I have another one on the way.
Congrats.
He'll be born in, due date's October 4th. But yeah, fatherhood's cool. It's interestingly enough, like growing up, of course, I never had a dad really. I had father figures, you know. Ezra's dad was kind of a staple for me.
Yeah.
You know, never. He was a really good. You know, he was a really good icon, I guess. You
Yeah.
know, a good person to follow. You know, I don't think he's not perfect. You know, his story is a good one. Him and his wife both have good stories, but you know, he's a super good person. I think his heart's really good, and you know, he treated me really good for a long time. You know, but anyway, I had uncles that were really good to me. You know, just there was a lot of male figureheads that kind of took the place, and none of them were really like a dad, but they were good for me. You know, not having a dad makes it tough to be a good dad, I think. You don't know the good stuffs to do. You don't know the bad stuff to do.
Yeah.
But actually, I would say it's easier than, it's portrayed, being a parent. Everyone says, well, once you have a baby, it's going to be so expensive and your life, it just ends. It's like, no, actually, honestly, I'm kind of glad I had kids when one kid while I was really young, but I'm only 27, so having the second one, by the time they're old enough to do things that I enjoy, I'm going to still be in good enough physical shape that we can go do those things together versus, having a kid when you're in your late 30s, early 40s. Well, by the time they're 18 years old, you're in your 60s, and you're ready to slow down and maybe not, go hike that mountain or something. But no, it's cool. Sports. Zane is really into sports.
Really?
Oh yeah, anything sports. Football, basketball, baseball. I mean, it's never ending. But no, it's cool. It's fun watching him. He's really good at it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Good. How old is he now?
He'll be 8 in September.
Wow. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, it's crazy. 8 years ago. It's been 8 years.
Wow.
Which is weird, if everything feels just like yesterday. Like I remember high school like it was yesterday. It feels weird and
scary.
Man, I graduated 9 years ago. Yeah.
No,
So.
it's goes by fast. I remember I never really thought about my age until I turned 25, and I was like, "Whoa, clock's really rolling, huh?"
Yeah. Yeah, it goes quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second baby's coming. It'll be cool.
Congrats.
Yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Well, from what I hear, if you have one kid and they're nice, calm, and easy, second kid's always gonna be hell.
Yeah. So going to doctor appointments, and not even the doctors, but actually, well, I guess it's not even the doctors, but like everyone, of course, everyone has something to say about theories, like if the heart rate is really high, it means it's a girl, or a slow heart rate in the womb means a boy or whatever. Well, our first baby appointment had like a super high heart rate. Well, it's a boy. So that's not true.
Yeah.
So, and none of those are telltale signs, but Zane was like a super easy baby. I honestly don't even think he's ever wet the bed.
Yeah.
I cannot remember a time where maybe once, but yeah, he was super easy. Yeah. So by your theory, this one's not going to be so good.
Yeah.
But they also say another thing I've heard is if they're active in the womb, they're mellow outside of it.
What I hear is a lot is always opposite. Whatever you experience like in the womb, you're very opposite.
And so this one is like really active in the womb.
Okay.
So there's hope that he's going to come home and just sleep through the night every night. And
cross your fingers for that.
Yeah.
They will with enough Benadryl.
Sorry, Savannah.
Yeah.
Just kidding, by the way. Yeah, no, but no, it'll be cool. I think Zane's pretty excited to have a little brother.
Someone to beat up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The 8-year age gap is going to make it a little difficult for him because I think just because Zane is like stupidly active.
Yeah.
Always going like a million miles an hour, and he's going to have this little brother who's a baby and not going to be able to, which on one side is fine.
3 babies sitting here in about 5 years.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd trust Zane to be a babysitter. He can't even babysit himself.
Not now, but 13, 14.
No, I know.
Just keeping an eye on a toddler, like,
Yeah.
or not a toddler. Are you a toddler at 5? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when you quit being
I mean,
a
when you're
toddler.
talking and walking, I think you're a toddler. You're not a baby.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
What is
at
the
least.
official age of being a toddler? For men, it's as old as 30. No, I'm just kidding.
That
No,
makes sense.
it's cool though. Zane, he's at the point now. Like as soon as I found out with Zane, 3 years old is when it gets really fun. Mm-hmm. Women love babies by default, I think, and men love it when they can talk and don't have. Women already are hard enough to understand, and then you add a baby that can't talk. Can't tell you why it's crying, can't tell you why it's like that's hard for a man. I think it was hard for me anyway. And I think by default, like crying and stuff like that doesn't bother women near as much as it like a lot of men.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily like they can handle it, but they don't like it.
Yeah.
And like I would say I'm more of that person, like a baby crying. Like I don't find that. It doesn't like make me angry, but like it's not something I'm comfortable dealing with all day.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to soothe a baby, but after an hour, man, I'm gonna be like worn out.
Yeah.
But
it's probably some biology in that.
yeah, no, absolutely.
just being a nurturer.
I think that's just how humans were created. Like God specifically created a woman to. There's a reason men don't give birth.
Yeah. Yeah.
We probably can't handle it.
Yeah. No way. They're a little smarter with that.
But yeah,
aspect of things.
That's the whole creation. The creationist mindset when it comes to men and women. We supplement each other.
Yeah.
We're created. And a lot of the country doesn't see it this way, but we're created to. Women have things that they're really good at, and we're complementarian.
Yeah.
Men are better at some things, and women are better at some things.
Yeah.
And what women are good at, I probably suck at, and what women suck at, I'm probably good at. And I think that's just how we were created. And so, anyway, all that to be said, 3 years old is when Zane, like year 3 is when Zane got really fun for me. Like, I like giving people grief and being a jokester and stuff, and at 3 they can talk and they kind of understand what you're saying, and and now he's 8, so like he'll go to work with me in the summers. Like the other day he was at work and he was helping me, and he was actually having a good time doing it, I think. And so that's really fun. Like he's like 100%, 150% committed to sports. So the likelihood that he's gonna, maybe be in construction is probably pretty slim, because I would imagine. But on the flip side, when I was his age, I really loved football too.
Yeah.
Not so much baseball, and I liked baseball, but not basketball. But he's into all of them. So, I don't know whether he'll follow footsteps and maybe do that or not. But worst case scenario, he's going to be really good help throughout high school in the summers.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, seeing something that I've made my living, been able to provide for my family, and it's cool seeing him take part in that.
Yeah.
If nothing else. And I guess the goal for anyone with a small business or any kind of business is, hopefully it gets carried on by later generations.
Yep.
You hand it down to your kids, and they're, you hope they're grateful, and you hope they're passionate about it and want to carry on the legacy. But regardless, I mean, it's fun to see, even if he doesn't decide that it's his future.
Sure. Still time you got to spend with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun being a dad. I enjoy it.
Good. Very good. Very good. What measure is this? 21:41. 21:41.
When's your brother going to be a dad?
We're waiting. We're praying for it. I'm ready to be an uncle.
He's a dog dad and he hates it.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me. His wife loves dogs.
Oh yeah, he can't stand his dog. It's hilarious.
His dog is.
Is he still in Bozeman?
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's about time we wrap this up. What do you Highland Construction? Everybody, they've done work for my parents.
Well, you have like a website or a phone number people can contact you.
Yes.
I'm not going to put your phone number on here.
Well, I meant like
Yeah,
a
please don't.
business number or something like that. If you want to get like people talking about your company.
Facebook.
Highland.
I do have a website, but it's not up yet.
Okay, so
Okay.
Facebook maybe.
I've actually gotten to a point where I don't advertise anymore.
Okay.
Just 'cause-
Sure.
But no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Well, they can always message my page, and I'll get them hooked up.
Yeah.
Highland Construction, everybody, they do excellent work. Brandon's a very good man. I would highly recommend his work. Well, there you go. Hey, I did have one more question for you. I thought of this last night at like 10 o'clock. Growing up in youth group together, Christian music. There was
Yeah.
always these Christian songs that would get played in youth and in kids' church that were bigger than the other ones. What were some of your favorites?
That's a hard one.
Do you remember any of them?
I remember like all of them, mostly because they were like overplayed to the max.
Good grief, dude. There was like a 2-year period where every week in youth, it was
Oceans?
Toby Mac's
Or-
Eye on It
Oh yeah.
over the speaker, the whole album. And it was just like,
Oh, you're talking about just like playing in youth group, not even like worship.
No, either one.
Oh,
Oceans did get, it seemed like there was like that one, Sinking Deep,
Yep.
just every week. And it was like, can we pick another song?
Yep.
Can we pick another song?
Yeah. Well, I think that honestly, I think that's just a church thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, people repetition is good for people because it's simple.
Yeah.
And like we talked about earlier, people are comfortable. Like people like to be comfortable, and so
Yeah.
if they know a song, they're gonna relate more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It's easier to focus less on singing and more on praising the Lord.
I don't know. Like the music I listen to has completely changed from when I was in like like back then I would have thought like, oh, if I don't listen to Christian music, I'm not really a good Christian.
Yeah.
And now it's
We
like,
were kind of taught that.
yeah,
and I don't
kind of,
believe that's
honestly.
true.
No, I don't either. You know, if you're listening to music that is like bad, like,
Yeah.
you know, most 90% of the rap
Yeah.
in the world today, like that's probably not good to like
Like
that doesn't
lyrically.
edify God at all.
Like
that
lyrically.
doesn't edify you. That doesn't edify
No.
the church. That doesn't edify God. Nothing. But if I listen to a song about, and I don't like mainstream country, but if I listen to a song about driving a truck down a back road,
Yeah.
that is not harmful to
No.
anything.
Like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Cash is not singing worship music, but
Yeah.
it's just a fun, I hear the train a coming. Like, I don't know.
Interestingly enough, I actually like Toby Mac.
I saw him live.
Yeah, me too. I bought all my employees tickets to Toby Mac when he
Oh,
was
because he was here.
here. Yeah.
Oh, we went
and
to
it was a
Spokane.
fantastic concert.
I believe it. I
he-
wouldn't have known any of the songs.
Yeah,
the last time I saw him.
I had when I was in my senior year of high school, I had a Toby Mac CD. It was Eye on It, the CD,
Oh, yeah.
the yellow CD.
Yeah.
Someone broke into my truck, tried stealing my radio out of it. It was like a
I remember
small
that.
touchscreen radio. They couldn't get it out, so they just broke the screen. Well, that was the only CD I had. So until I could afford a new radio, all I listened to was that album in my truck. It's like the
Wow.
worst 6 months of my
So
life.
you just knew every song
oh yeah,
word for word?
every song. And yeah, so anyway.
They used to play it in youth, like between stuff. They would have the CD.
Yep.
Still, every song off that sting is boom, 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 boom. I own it, boom, boom. Like, oh,
Yeah. NF towards the end of it got really big. So, you know, he was never really I didn't mind him, I guess.
Yeah.
But he became like really, it was like, I don't know. NF always like, it always seemed like sad and depressed to me. Like all the girls
Yeah.
that were like,
just in love with him,
yeah. I don't know.
dude. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like the most iconic songs to me are like early to mid 2000 Kayla, like Phillips, Craig and Dean and like
yeah.
Mercy Me and
Nick listens to some of that.
yeah. And like when they come on, like I don't turn them off because I like them.
Yeah,
Like yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
I actually kind of gave up most of the worship music.
Dude, a lot of the modern stuff is so hard to listen to.
Well, not only that, but like, man, I just can't support some of those churches.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not something that needs to be on there, but like, I don't like, man, huge charismatic, like those churches do weird things, man.
Yeah.
Well, and then like Hillsong, no, you know, I don't think that Hillsong as a church is really like a bad church, but Brian Houston was like doing terrible things.
Yeah.
While leading probably the biggest, most, you know, well-known church in the world.
Sad.
How do I get behind that and keep funneling them money? You know? Bethel does some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And they have really good worship songs that a lot of
some good ones.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, and then like, well, another one, Elevation Church, Stephen Furtick, like he is like he said some weird things in sermons.
Yeah.
And like he completely left. He left the Southern, I think he was part of the Southern Baptist Convention actually for a while.
Yeah.
Left it because the Southern Baptist Convention was like, hey, you're out of line here. And, you know, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think I align closest with Southern Baptist.
Sure.
Religiously, but like in my personal views. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of gave a lot of listen to that, a lot of that stuff up. But yeah.
Social media has hurt. I believe it's hurt churches a lot because just like we said earlier, we're taking things out of context. I don't remember his name. There's a huge pastor, and I saw a video, and the video was a scene from Meet the Robinsons, and it was where the villain was like, they all hated me, and everyone was being nice to him, and then it was just that 3-second clip, and then he was like, yeah, this is like everyone who says church hurt is made up. I think it's stupid, and it's just like,
when a church really
that's
screws
the
you
dumbest
over,
thing
though,
I've ever heard.
like I grew up at a church. Okay, I basically got told not to go. Well, whatever. I don't know if this is
You're good
or not, but
You're good.
I bet like the reason I quit going there, they basically told me, delete that.
Yep.
Don't come back to youth until you start going to young adults.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, that's why I quit going. Like I was going to Youth Alpha with people
Yeah.
that we knew.
Yeah.
And it was like, you can't be a youth leader until you start going to young adults. I'm like, dude, all the young adults at this church are like 30 plus years old with a kid or two.
Yeah.
Who do I relate with more straight out of high school? I just graduated. Who do I relate with more? A 30-year-old who's been in a full-time job for 10 years, has 2 kids and is married, or a 17-year-old who is a junior in high school going to be a senior.
Yeah.
Who do I relate with more?
That's such a weird time for, I feel like the church loses so many people right in that, like 16 to 20-year-old market.
Yeah, it was hard.
Market's the wrong word, but
Well,
you
then,
know what I mean.
Yeah, then I went to a different church, and there was some weird stuff that went on there. And
I won't get into it. I've had, well, you know our experience with the one place.
Yeah.
And then I had a similar experience with another church, and then I have frustration. I don't know. Off mic, we'll have to talk more, but
that's what's hard for me. Like, you know, I invested so many years into a church, and not really to be cast out per se, but basically to be made felt unwelcome.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes hard for me. Like, okay, so now I have a family, and that's like, your family knows all about this because it was involved. Like, you know what I mean? Like your family went through it. And, you know, looking at that, am I wise to invest, like take my family and invest not only monetary resources, but time, effort, all that into a church for years, and then just to be that all over again? And, you know, it's the whole aspect of no church is perfect. And I 100% believe that, because churches are, you know, ran by imperfect
people,
beings. Yeah. But on the flip side, like it's hard to invest all that because, it's just hard. Yeah. So,
no, I understand. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We'll definitely have you back. We'll have to have you and Ezra on. That would be so much fun.
What a riot.
Just talking about our stupid things we've done. I mean, that'd be like a 3-hour bonus episode.
Yeah.
So
That's like set a whole Saturday aside just to reminisce.
Oh yeah, we would need to set up the Xbox right there and play Black Ops.
Oh my
Black
gosh!
Ops 2
in your
and have a big
basement,
bag of
man.
popcorn.
Just have your mics right there and just forget about them.
That was like every time we'd hang out, we'd go. What was the map called? It was the yacht.
Hijacked.
Was it the yacht? Is that
Yeah.
the
Hijacked.
yacht's called?
Yeah.
You're obsessed with that map. I played with them like a
And
handful of times.
I'm not going to say anything. Dude, we used to play that with a particular setting activated. Was there a twist we put on it?
I don't remember what I remember is you, your brother Ezra, and I.
Yeah.
And you raging every time your brother would kill you.
He does that to me.
I would never.
Just crazy, man. Full on wrestling matches between him and his brother over him getting killed in Black
we wouldn't
Ops.
have
You
that.
targeted me. It's not my fault.
He'd throw the remote. Like,
Well,
if I
that's
kill him.
true too.
So did we?
He's talking about setbacks. He says
Did we
10
do the
setbacks.
setbacks to -10, or was that later?
Probably, yeah. That
Okay.
sounds familiar. I don't remember.
We did
all
with
of
Ezra
the,
later.
Yeah,
but
I don't
if we
remember all of
started
the
that with us.
intricacies.
I hated that so much.
He hates it, but it's fun.
because we do gun game or something.
Yep,
And I'm really good at gun game, so I get almost to the very end, and then he knifed me. And then
-10.
yeah, and it just goes a knifing game.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times what we'd do is like 2 versus 2 too. I believe
Oh,
is what we
man.
would do, and it was always funny. Like if I remember it correctly, we would all argue about who was not on Jonah's team.
I can see why.
Or no, we would argue about not being on Jonah's team.
Yeah.
I guess the right way to put it.
I got Jonah last time. You get him next time. You get him this time.
But then what would be funny is like Jonah and his brother would be on a team. Well, they would completely dominate Ezra and I. Like neither Ezra or I grew up playing video games. Like
we didn't play a ton.
There was probably it was a winter thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like that because if it wasn't winter, we were never inside. But
No.
those are good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good ones.
All right, Ezra, that's your challenge. Get on here,
Fortnite.
and we're gonna have a.
Fortnite.
Do you play Fortnite?
Actually, with Zane, yeah, I do.
Dude, I think Fortnite is great.
I can't stand Fortnite, especially watching him play it.
It's
think it's
actually kind of
great.
fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Zane he goes back and forth from Madden to Fortnite.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't play Madden.
Madden's a really good game.
I hate
Well, I know what
it.
it is.
Do you?
I do too. I'm too impatient.
Well, it's not even
Give me the
that.
match.
It's
Give me a gun.
Well, the problem is like I take my quarterback, I pick a good play, I stand in the pocket, I have good players overall, I do everything perfect, I get intercepted every single time.
That does piss me off.
Like, makes no sense. I have the best quarterback rated quarterback in the NFL on my team or whatever. I could be playing with the best team, and Zane will intercept every pass.
Wow.
Last night we played, and I want to say he literally got 12 interceptions on me in the one game.
Holy moly.
3-minute quarters.
Who's his team?
He was playing as the Bills because he likes the Chiefs. And
You failed as a father, Brandon.
I know.
There are worse teams
I'm
to like.
sorry.
Long as it ain't the
The
Patriots or the
Cowboys.
Niners or the Cowboys, yeah.
I actually
Fair
gave
enough.
up. Like, I follow the underdogs. Like, I'm at the
Titans.
point. Well, I don't
Or
know.
trash.
fan.
Titans are trash.
Yeah, they are trash. but
Underdogs is the word we prefer.
Trash.
I basically just root against.
What did you
whatever
say,
team.
Steelers fan?
They're better than yours.
Steelers. That's
don't
like
think
the
we were
worst
this
thing.
year.
Steelers and Green Bay Packers are like the two worst. Like they're fan cults.
Fan Colts.
No, Patriots are worse than either of them.
Nah, I wouldn't even say
No,
Patriots.
If
Yes,
you've
they are.
seen Niners,
Yes, they are.
if you've seen Niners or Raiders, that's a cult. Their
Every
whole
single
life is
year.
based around
True,
that.
yeah.
There is-
You don't see anyone but Raiders with Raiders tattoo. Raiders fans.
Oh,
with
Raiders
No, they got the
Tattoos are
blankets, they got the
nuts
flag,
about
the
it.
tattoos, they got it all.
Yeah,
like their
that
whole
is true.
personality
But
is their
I'm telling
team.
you, the worst every single year, it's the same people with the Patriots. They post the same stupid thing on Facebook. They say, "This is the year of the Patriots. We're going to win." Then they lose their first 3 games, and then they're quiet for the next year. And like, I'm as a Titans fan, not going to go on Facebook and say,
Well, the Vikings fans do the same
Titans
thing.
are gonna
Vikings
clinch it
have
this year,
never
like,
won
no,
a
we're
Super
not.
Bowl, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got this player, this player, this player. We're definitely going to the Super Bowl." And then they get so dang close, and then they choke.
"That's usually
that's
how
the
it is for the
Steelers'
Titans."
problem.
Every year.
That's the Steelers' problem. We get so close. Like last year, we won like 7 games in a row, and then I just got back home from basic and training and whatnot, and then we lost every game. We got so close to the Super Bowl, and then we choke. We
Yeah.
do that every year.
We didn't do that last year, but I think the year before was the same. We'll do all right during the season, and then Titans game 1 of playoffs were like, we're done.
They just gave them, look, we made this far.
Yeah, good enough.
The good news is every sports fan minus Chiefs fans can gather around and be on the same side when it comes to the Chiefs games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to call this for the day.
Yeah.
We'll have you back on, man, because we're at an hour and a half. This is a record for us. So I'll probably edit it down a little bit, but this was really good. Thank you for coming on. Highland Construction, everybody. I can't recommend them enough. There you go. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to the Monty Anarchy podcast, and we will see you next time. Enjoy the music.